Administrative and economic applications of linear functions. National income. National income represents the minimum limits of income from firms to households given as payment for these factors. Households can then spend this money in one of two ways. First way is income can be used for the consumption of goods produced by firms. Second way is it can be put into savings. Consumption, C, and savings, S, are therefore functions of income Y. 1. Income equals consumption plus saving implies Y equals C plus S. 2. Saving equals income minus consumption implies S equals Y minus C. 3. Consumption equals income minus saving implies C equals Y minus S. 1. Marginal propensity to consume. The fraction of an increase in national income that is spent on consumption. It's the slope of the consumption function. 2. Marginal propensity to save. The fraction of an increase in national income that goes into savings. It's the slope of the savings function. Plus, it shows the key equation. MPS plus MPC equals 1. Where MPS is marginal propensity to save. MPC is marginal propensity to consume. National income, Y, is the total income households get from firms as factor payments. Households spend income by consuming goods C or saving S. Both consumption and saving depend on income. Consumption function, C equals A, Y, plus B, and saving function is S equals dy plus E. Marginal propensity to consume, MPC, is the fraction of extra income spent on consumption. MPC equals A in consumption function C equals A, Y plus B. Marginal propensity to save, MPS, is the fraction saved from extra income. MPS equals D in saving function. S equals dy plus E. The slope of consumption function C equals A, Y plus B is called MPC. The slope of saving function S equals dy plus E is called MPS. Example 1. Determine the savings function that corresponds to the consumption function. C equals 0.8y plus 25. To find savings function S, use S equals y minus C. Substitute C. S equals y minus open bracket 0.8y plus 25 close bracket. Expand. S equals y minus 0.8y minus 25. Simplify. S equals 0.2y minus 25. This means savings depend on income with a slope of 0.2 and a constant term minus 25. Example 2. If the consumption function is given by C equals 0.6y plus 30. State the values of MPC and deduce the value of MPS. Solution. The value of MPC is the coefficient of y in the consumption function. MPC equals 0.6. Since MPC plus MPS equals 1, we have MPS equals 1 minus MPC equals 1 minus 0.6 is equal to 0.4. Simple national income model. Y equals C plus S and Y equals C plus I. Suppose that the level of investment that firms plan to inject into the economy is known to be some fixed value, I star. If the economy is in equilibrium, the flow of income and expenditure balances so that Y equals C plus I asterisk operator. Equilibrium equation. Example 1. Find the equilibrium level of income and consumption if the consumption function is C equals 0.6y plus 10 and planned investment I equals 12. Solution. We know that the relation between Y, C, and I is Y equals C plus I from theory. C equals 0.6y plus 10 given in problem. I equals 12 given in problem. If the value of I is substituted into the first equation, then implies Y equals C plus 12. The expression for C can also be substituted to give implies Y equals 0.6 Y plus 10 plus 12. Implies Y equals 0.6 Y plus 22. Subtract 0.6 Y from both sides. Implies Y minus 0.6 Y equals 22. Implies 0.4 Y equals 22. Divide both sides by 0.4, we have implies Y equals 55. The corresponding value of C can be deduced by putting this level of income into the consumption function to get C equals 0.6 Y plus 10. When Y equals 55 we have implies C equals 0.6 times 55 plus 10. Implies C equals 33 plus 10 equals 43. Exercises. Exercises 1. Write down expressions for the savings function given that the consumption function is A. C equals 0.9 Y plus 72. B. C equals 0.8 Y plus 100 solution. A. We know that the relation between Y, C, and S is Y equals C plus S. So, we have saving functions. Implies S equals Y minus C. C equals 0.9 Y plus 72, given in problem. Implies S equals Y minus open paren 0.9 Y plus 72 close paren implies S equals Y minus 0.9 Y minus 72. The saving functions is S equals 0.1 Y minus 72. B. We know that the relation between Y, C, and S is implies Y equals C plus S implies S equals Y minus C. C equals 0.8 Y plus 100, given in problem. implies S equals Y minus open bracket 0.8Y plus 100 close bracket. Implies S equals Y minus 0.8Y minus 100. Implies S equals 0.2Y minus 100. Exercises 2. For a closed economy with no government intervention, the consumption function is C equals 0.6Y plus 30. And planned investment is I equals 100. Calculate the equilibrium level of A. National income, B. Consumption, C. Savings. Solution. A. National income. We know that the relation between Y, C, and I is Y equals C plus I from theory. C equals 0.6Y plus 30, given in problem. I equals 100, given in problem. If the value of I is substituted into the first equation, then implies Y equals C plus 100. The expression for C can also be substituted to give implies Y equals 0.6Y plus 30 plus 100. Implies Y equals 0.6Y plus 130. Subtract 0.6Y from both sides. We have implies Y minus 0.6Y equals 130 implies 0.4Y equals 130. Divide both sides by 0.4 implies Y equals 325. B. Calculating consumption. The corresponding value of C can be deduced by putting this level of income into the consumption function to get C equals 0.6Y plus 30. When Y equals 325, we have implies C equals 0.6 times 325 plus 30. Implies C equals 195 plus 30 implies C equals 225. C. Calculating savings. We know that the relation between Y, C, and S is Y equals C plus S. Implies S equals Y minus C. C equals 0.6Y plus 30 given in problem. Substitute by C in the second equation we have implies S equals Y minus open bracket 0.6Y plus 30 close bracket. Implies S equals Y minus 0.6Y minus 30. Implies S equals 0.4Y minus 30. When Y equals bold 3 bold 2 bold 5 implies S equals bold 0. Bold 4 times bold 3 bold 2 bold 5 minus bold 3 bold 0 implies S equals bold 1 bold 0 bold 0. Exercises 3. Find the equilibrium level of income if the consumption function is C equals 0.8y plus 25. And planned investment I equals 17. Calculate the new equilibrium income if planned investment rises by 1 unit. Solution. A. National income. We know that the relation between y, c, and I is y equals c plus I from theory. C equals 0.8y plus 25, given in problem. I equals 17, given in problem. If the value of I is substituted into the first equation, then implies y equals c plus 17. The expression for c can also be substituted to give implies y equals 0.8y plus 25 plus 17. Implies y equals 0.8y plus 42. Subtract 0.6y from both sides. Implies y minus 0.8y equals plus 42. Implies 0.2y equals 42. Divide both sides by 0.2. Implies y equals 210. The new equilibrium income if planned investment rises by 1 unit. We know that the relation between y, c, and I is y equals c plus I from theory. C equals 0.8y plus 25, given in problem. Investment rises by 1 unit implies I equals 17 plus 1 equals 18, given in problem. If the value of I is substituted into the first equation, then implies y equals c plus 18. The expression for c can also be substituted to give implies y equals 0.8y plus 25 plus 18. Implies y equals 0.8y plus 43. Subtract 0.6y from both sides. Implies y minus 0.8y equals 0.43. Implies 0.2y equals 43. Divide both sides by 0.2. Implies y equals 215. So, 1 unit increasing in investment leads to increase 5 units in income. 4. If the consumption function is given by S equals 0.3y plus 50. State the value of MPC. The value of MPS is the coefficient of y in the saving function. S equals 0.3y plus 50. We have MPS equals 0.3. Since MPC plus MPS equals 1, MPC equals 1 minus MPS equals 1 minus 0.3 is equal to 0.7.